Hello everyone. There's been a huge demand to get Crothers and Hudson up onto the YouTube, so here I am. We are going to talk about the Antarctic Treaty today. It's one of the easiest case studies I think that we have. It's one of my favorite case studies to do. The Antarctic Treaty was started, in 1959. Before 1959, you've got the Cold War going on. The United States and Russia are using the world in a giant high-stakes game of chess, effectively. Both of them are looking for awesome new sites to test their terrifying nuclear weapons. Both of them had their eyes set on Antarctica because nobody lives there. A lot of the countries in the world were sort of scared of this, that what if something goes wrong? So before anything did, we sat down, and in 1959, the 1st of December, they said, let's come up with an agreement on how we can use the Antarctic. So it was signed into law. It officially started in 1961, but they laid out the rules for this. It meant that everywhere from 60 degrees south all the way down to the North or the South Pole at 90 degrees south would be protected by this treaty. Currently, there are 45 countries set up to the Antarctic Treaty. The Antarctic Treaty has a couple main rules to it. It's actually quite successful. The first one is that things need to be peaceful. And in order for things to be peaceful, countries need to set aside their territorial claims. The Antarctic has actually been claimed by quite a few countries. The UK has a claim, Argentina has a claim, Australia, New Zealand, France, Norway. I think the United States even has a claim. But the treaty says that even though you've claimed this land, we're going to set those disputes aside. It also means that once a year, all the countries that have signed up to the Antarctic Treaty will have a meeting where they will discuss things such as tourism, scientific cooperation, how best they can manage the environment, and so on. By doing this, it's encouraging different countries to work together to maintain this peaceful environment. Another thing that it does is it outlaws the use of soldiers and detonation of nuclear devices on the continent. You're also, because of this nuclear clause, not allowed to store nuclear waste there either. This keeps it peaceful. To help enforce this, you can actually have inspectors from any of these 45 countries show up to your encampments and inspect that you're following these rules. If you're not, your country can be fined, and if you're the researcher in charge of this activity, you're done. You don't want to be that guy. Now, the next rule of the Antarctic Treaty is that things need to be biosecure. Biosecurity, if you break it down into its two roots, you have bio, meaning life, secure, peace, or is safe. So we need things to be safe for life. Now, a lot of the peaceful things have also been set up to be biosecure. For example, the no leaving of nuclear waste is a very good example of that. Other things that they do to make sure that they're biosecure is tourists, scientists, it doesn't matter who you are, if you're going to the Antarctic continent, you must scrub your boots and follow strict protocols on how to pack your gear, how to clean your gear, and what is actually allowed to come with you, what sorts of foods. The idea is by doing this, it will keep the continent biosecure, it will keep it safe because you're not introducing new pests to Antarctica. Certain organisms, like dandelion seeds, which have taken foot there, actually have no natural predators. Though, because there are no natural predators, they can take off and invade the continent and outcompete the native flora and the native fauna for the resources that are there and completely disrupt things. Other things that we also do is all waste created by people must be removed. That means that if there's food waste or even things like urine and feces, they need to be removed from the Antarctic continent. Since they're removed, again, you're preventing the spread of diseases. You're not letting these foreign bodies break down on the continent. There is a downside to this. Because this waste is removed from the Antarctic, it's usually flown to countries like Chile. That's a 3-hour flight. It's incredibly expensive, and it's also releasing a lot of greenhouse gases, which enhance climate effect. So it's not 100% sustainable. Now, the next way that the Antarctic Treaty serves to protect it is by keeping things collaborative. If you're a scientist, you have the freedom to go and research there wherever you want. However, you must share your research. It must be open and available to everybody, which is fantastic because it has led to a lot of scientific discoveries. But at the same token, it's making sure that the international community is benefiting from this. The Antarctic Treaty has been extraordinarily successful. The collaboration and scientific research there has led to the discovery of the hole in the ozone layer, and because of that discovery, we've actually found the causes of it, we've addressed those causes, and the hole in the ozone layer is actually repairing itself. So humanity, through this collaborative research, has actually improved the environment. It's led to improvements for nature, our planet, and it stops us from, being turned into ants under a magnifying glass from the sun. It's also led to other things, such as the Convention for Antarctic Seals. The Convention for Antarctic Seals puts out a limit, actually it outright bans hunting seals in the Antarctic. Again, it's biosecure, but these other countries are collaborating to set these limits. Now, it's been it is called the most successful treaty ever. And it's the most successful treaty ever for a multitude of reasons. Since 1961, when it first came in, there's been an awful lot of conflict in the world. There's been the end of the Cold War with all the little flashpoints there, the Korean War, invasion of Afghanistan, and so on. There's been the Falkland Wars, there's been Gulf War, Gulf II, Afghanistan, Volume 2 as well. And through that time, the Antarctic has remained a place of peace. The scientists have gone on working there uninterrupted. They've set aside their nationalities' differences, and they've continued to produce fantastic research. Other ways that it's been successful is through the treaties on whaling. The international community has actually outlawed whaling in the Southern Ocean now. Some countries, Japan, haven't necessarily taken this into accord, but even through this process it's actually remained relatively peaceful. The Antarctic Treaty is really being successful because of the three rules. Peaceful, it's been peaceful because of everything. It's been biosecure through the removal of waste, banning and protecting of wildlife, and it's remained collaborative. So yeah, well done, Antarctic Treaty. Really easy case study. Just think about what is being done there. How is this sustainable? How successful has this measure been? There is one caveat though. The Antarctic Treaty is set to expire in 2050. In 2050, we're expected to see a lot of the ice caps. They've melted away, they would have shrunk away. And at that point in time, the minerals that are naturally abundant in Antarctica will be very easy for countries to get. Because of that, certain countries may not re-sign the Antarctic Treaty. If they don't re-sign the Antarctic Treaty, that means they're not putting aside their territorial claims, and it means that they will be potentially going to mine and extract these minerals, which will absolutely devastate the Antarctic environment. However, re-signing this might not be the best for the world economy. We don't know what the situation is going to be like in 2050, but we can say that if the Antarctic Treaty is not re-signed in 2050 and countries do go to extract these minerals, that is the end of sustainable management of this large-scale ecosystem. Peace out.